Yeah, we will do that. Yeah, that's coming right up, but right after this point. When I think I've said this on the show before, it's you want some hope, you want some advice, ladies. You want advice. You think, oh, well, these guys, they're misogynists. All they do is complain. What are we complaining about today? Well, here we go. How about this? How about you appreciate the guy that you are with? How about that? Because as I said before, a woman can't look up to a man who's her equal. The guy has to be a little bit better, right?
Facts.
So when I was just on Leah Halpern's show and I was talking about this, is like for women, their sexual market value burns hot and fast, and then it falls off. For men, it's slow burn, and you have longer to develop it. It goes slow, but you have a potential to have more of it than a woman who's just like bop bop, and that's it. So for men who are, like I always say, that men hit their sexual market value peak years right around 36, 37 years old. That's when guys are hitting their stride, and they made partner in the law firm, and they're still good looking. They stay on top of their shit. They have the more potential to be the most of what women find most attractive right around that time, right? So, but it's low and slow, but there's you have more margin for error to maximize what makes you attractive, what makes you arousing as a guy, what makes you a high value man. You have a longer period of time than what makes a woman a high value woman in the sexual market sense. But what happens is women need to understand that their sexual market value is slow. It's hot and fast, and it's off, right? It declines really quickly because it's
a high peak parabola is what it is.
Okay, so think about this. When a man, let's just say you take a couple and they're both the same age, okay? And the woman is 23 and the guy is 23. The woman is at the peak of her power. She's at the peak of her sexual market power. And she's like, you know what? I'm going to give it to you because I think you have potential, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You stick with him. You married at 23, 24 years old, and you go off into the future together. Now you're 34, 35, 36, and the guy is hitting his sexual market value peak, but the woman right now is most definitely not at her sexual market value peak anymore. She's 10 years past it, or maybe a little bit more, 12 years past it, right? And so what happens is, ideally, what should happen in a relationship between two people who are like both the same age is that woman goes through her peak years and she's at the top of her game. And then when she is on her decline and the guy is on his incline, that the relationship should be strong enough so that woman goes, oh, goddamn, I'm actually with a really high value guy. I got with a really good dude.
Bam.
And now if that is you, that's why I get so bent out of shape with like
women got to build the equity, baby.
Exactly. Well,
build the equity, bitch.
And then you listen to, we were just mentioning her name, Ayesha Curry's like, oh no, it's not good enough. It's not enough for me. It's like, bitch, you're like on your decline of your decline of your sexual market value, and you are with an apex alpha guy. Where is that
Alpha's
appreciation for that? High value
man.
Referring
like alpha, like he's
he's high value guy. High value guy. Yes. Yeah. So, but he's now. So you're with two people who are both the same age. Now they're 36, 37. Yeah. She is definitely on her age right on her declination. I think she's 30, 31. But just our figurative, our theoretical couple here. When a woman is at 36, 37, she's definitely on the decline of her sexual market value because her sexual market value is perishable because men and women are different, right? And so men, if they've played their cards right, if they've maximized their potential, he is now at the apex of his, and that woman should be saying, damn, she's
33.
She's 33.
She's older than me. She's born 89. Yeah.
And how old is Steph Curry?
Let me look him up.
Yeah, look up how old Steph Curry is too. So now you've got this woman who is
34 years old.
34. So he's 1 year. Well, they're pretty close to the ideal right there. So when Steph Curry hits to be 36, 37, and she's 35 or 36, who's going to be more valuable in a sexual market? Global sexual marketplace.
Him by far.
He's already. Already he is.
But even if you were to attribute that to like a normal couple, right? It would be.
And so that's what I get about like when I get a little bit bent out of shape. It's like women instead of being appreciative, they're like, well, he better live up to his fucking responsibilities. He better be, he's a man. He's a man. He's got to do what I tell him to do, right? because, and the reason why women get controlling at that point is because they become insecure, because they know that he's at the top of his game and she is well on her way out the door, as far as she's on her way to become Paulina Porizkova.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. She sees it coming.
And so rather than saying, baby, I love you, thank you so much. Every Thanksgiving, it's like, oh Lord, thank you for my husband. You know, there ought to be some sort of appreciation right there. And not because I think the guy ought to be, it's not for the guy's sake, it's for the woman's sake, because a woman needs to have the insight to be appreciative of the situation that she's in. He's at his apex and I'm on my descent right now. Thank God that I got with this guy who really loves me, is invested in our kids, and wants to be a good guy. And instead you're like, that motherfucker better do what I tell him to do. Like, if that's the case, you want to know why women get that way, is because we have a gynocentric social order that teaches women that the world is a fucking oyster and they don't need no man. They want a man.
Yeah.
If you are married to the man that you want rather than the man you need at 36 years old, you are in a world of hurt.
Yo, and you know what? That's a fantastic point that you made, that women need to build the equity. They want to be able to kind of like marry the guy when they're on their decline and expect loyalty, and that's just not the way it goes.
And that's what I mean about layers.
Yeah.
Like, there better be a lot of layers by the time she's at 37 and you're at 37.
Yeah.
For her sake, not your sake.
And I'll take it a step further. Yeah. Let's say you built these layers up as a woman, you've invested with them, you have kids, you help them build them up, whatever the fuck, you want to say. Let's go worst case scenario. Let's say you find out that he starts fucking other chicks and there's infidelity, whatever it may be. If you're the mother of his children, you're not a raging bitch. You accept the fact that he's going to have sex with other girls or whatever. I promise you, there's an extremely high likelihood he's going to keep you around. And even if you end up falling out with him and you're not his main chick anymore, whatever, he's probably going to take care of you, or at bare minimum, the kids. But we know, statistically speaking, men don't initiate the breakups. The women do. Women also have this this unreal perception.
I can get better. I can do better.
Get better. And not only that, they think my guy's going to leave me when he makes it. And the reality is, the numbers show it. Men don't leave women. Even when they should, they don't leave women. So if you have kids with him, that from a statistical standpoint that he's probably not going to leave you, just shut the fuck up and accept what you got. And if he goes out and fucks another chick, he's more than likely going to come back to you.
Appreciate what you have. Appreciate those layers.
Yeah. But you want to know why women are so scared when it comes to having a high value guy and him walking out? It hit me just now. Because if the roles were reversed, they'd be out in a fucking instant.
Right.
That's the difference, because women don't understand that men aren't hypergamous. Yeah. We are okay with consolidating with a girl that might not necessarily be the fucking best. We're okay with that. But for them, they can't fathom that. I said this on another podcast, guys. Women are not empathetic. They're sympathetic. And what I mean by that is that with sympathy is she could feel sorry for you. But with empathy, she'll never understand you or be able to be in your shoes. Okay? And this is a perfect example of this when I mean women aren't empathetic. A man, right, can be with a girl. That girl, if he has enough investment with her, her beauty fades or whatever it may be, they have children together, whatever, he finds a better chick. He might not necessarily leave his girl high and dry for that better chick. He'll go have sex with that better chick or whatever, but more than likely he's going to come back to the main chick. He ain't going to break up with her. Men don't throw away good things a lot of the times or whatever, unless you're a raging bitch and you're over here accusing them, not giving them peace or whatever. But the reason why women have such an insecure mindset when it comes to this is because if you were to reverse the roles, they would leave you in an instant. And what I've come to realize about a lot of modern day women is they look at the world and they look at life through a female lens at all times. Yes. They could never look at the world through a male lens and not understand that our concept of loyalty is way different than fucking theirs. If I fuck another bitch, it's not that serious. If you fuck another guy, it is that serious. And you're probably going to leave if you fuck another guy. But women don't get it that if I fuck another girl, I probably won't leave you for that other bitch because I have investment with you. And I just want to have sex with other girls for recreational purposes only. It's not emotional. But women are not able to comprehend that we are different. However, men can. Why? Because any guy that is good with women needs to understand women. That's how you become good with women, because you need to be a step ahead of what the fuck they're doing. This is why I'm saying men have to be empathetic to be good with girls. Women don't have to be empathetic to be good with men.
You know why men understand differences in sex better than women do is because women are communitarian and men tend to base things on hierarchies. I know if a guy is above me in the social strata. Ken McElroy has a lot of money and I'm like, damn, I could learn a lot from this guy, but from sitting right here, he's deaf and financially speaking, he is way up here, and I go, I respect that. I can see that there's a
For
difference
sure.
between me and Ken. There's a difference between me and Robert Kiyosaki or George Gammon, right? I see those differences, and most men see those differences innately. Women think in terms of community. They are much more communitarian. It's the sisterhood uber alles. So they might still recognize those differences, like, oh, that bitch in the hot, you know, red cocktail dress and the high heels and the hoop earrings, she's ovulating, so you know we're going to talk shit about her. They see that difference, but they would much rather have this be a like society. When women organize societies, it's usually about communitarianism, socialism, egalitarianism. Oh, we're equal partners, right? The reason why you hear women say equal partners, not my husband, we're partners in this right now, and there's that sort of back and forth that they want to sort of have this idealized egalitarian equalism between them, is because the world that they live in is one where everybody, like men and women, ought to be equals, rather than men see, like when men see differences, we see differences between ourselves and between somebody who's lower than us or somebody who's higher than us.
They don't.
Yes. Yeah. And so we understand. But the thing is we live in a gynocentric society right now that says that what's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's why you always hear these women go, well, what about men? What about this? What about that? Like even in the abortion debate that we're having right now, they're like, well, if men could keep it in their pants, that's an effort to say that we're all the same, that we bear an equal responsibility for abortion and for childbirth and everything else. That's what this want, but we do not. Because when that baby is inside that woman's uterus, I'm powerless at that point. It's all about you, not about me. And there's a qualifiable difference at that point. Okay. So when women say, you just said a minute ago, they think that men think in terms of like hypergamy, like a minute ago.
Yeah.
The reason why they do that is because they don't have any other concept other than the fact that if we're equal, then you must also share the same understanding of hypergamy that I do, because we live in a female correct world. And if you don't have that, then there's something wrong with